Yo, what is up everybody? Welcome to the channel. It is T Ultra here, and word on the street is that we might be seeing a token market update in NBA 2K20 MyTeam. So the whole point of this video is to tell you guys the best ways to get tokens. We are going to go over the best free ways to do it from playing the game, and then later on in the video I'm going to go through the sets that lock in for tokens and tell you which ones that I would personally lock in and which ones I would refrain from locking in. Whether 2K adds a bunch of cards to these reward tiers, or they add some sort of like GOAT tier opals or something like that that costs a bunch of tokens, you're going to want to make sure that you are stocked with tokens for this event if it does happen. So with that being said, we are going to start off by looking at the best free ways to make tokens in the game from playing the game. But before we do that, make sure to subscribe. We are on our way to 200 subscribers on the channel, so it would be greatly appreciated if you could follow along, and thanks to everyone who is subscribed. Now, with that being said, we are going to go over the best free ways to make tokens from playing the game, like I said, and then we're going to get into which sets to lock in. So first and foremost, I'm recording this video on Saturday, and there is an event going on where after every challenge win, you get 3 tokens, which is absolutely incredible. That lasts until Monday, July 13th, so definitely take advantage of that, especially if you need to do some of those spotlight challenges, or there's some more challenges that I'm going to highlight later in the video that also give you tokens that you should be doing. So that is definitely a great way to make tokens. Just definitely take advantage of that event. Next up, this one is very simple. There is currently a community poll going on, and there usually is something available in this little area for you to answer. So it just asks you a question, and it'll just ask you some sort of question. So this one is, which GOAT card do you want most for your lineup? I mean, out of all of these, I already have Bird. He's really good. I'm going to take Wilt just because he's new and he's a big center. It doesn't really matter what you pick. Either way, you're going to get some sort of reward, and we get 3 tokens just for answering that simple question. So that is very nice. And guys, this is actually perfect because if you see on the bottom of the screen where it says free Kobe card and challenges, you see that locker code. Use the locker code Kobe, a bunch of letters, all that stuff to get a free Pink Diamond Career Highlights Kobe card. That locker code does not expire. Another great way to make tokens is to enter in that locker code right there, get that Pink Diamond Kobe Bryant card, and then if you go over to these challenges and you go over to Spotlight Challenges, you go, where is he? I gotta find him. There he is. So there's a set of 8 challenges where you have to use that Kobe Bryant card, and along the way you get so many awesome rewards, tokens, MT, you get like a diamond consumable pack, you get like an all-star pack, you get so many good rewards. And I believe this one right here, you get like 81 tokens. There's another one that's like 24 tokens. I think there's even more than that along the way. So this is another great way to make tokens, MT, all sorts of stuff. These Kobe Bryant challenges are like, they're a must complete. They are really not that hard, and you get amazing prizes. So definitely do these challenges if you have not already. Another great, easy, simple way to make MT is to pay attention to locker codes that do come out. Either follow NBA 2K20 MyTeam on Twitter. I'll also post most locker codes in some sort of no money spent video. But when locker codes do come out, you just go to extras, go over to locker codes, enter it in, and there will be some sort of ball drop. And a lot of times there are tokens on the board that you can get. Recently, there was a Kobe Bryant locker code, a different one, not the Pink Diamond one, but a cover athlete one. And I got 81 tokens from that ball drop. Like, it was absolutely insane. So you definitely want to be on the lookout for locker codes when they are in the game. Next up, this is a little unique. Most people probably don't point these out, but there is currently a challenge going on. I think it is this one right here. Yeah, it's this one right here, where it's a multiplayer online challenge, and you win the game using 2 Flash 8 players in your lineup, and you get 20 tokens for winning the game. So these games are usually less sweaty than MyTeam Unlimited. Because, when you play Unlimited, you're trying to win 12 games in a row. With this one, it doesn't really matter that much. The stakes are not as high. Speaking of challenges, so that is a multiplayer challenge. And right now, there are a bunch of actually weekly challenges that offer a lot of tokens. Now, ignore these, right? You have to play 5 games, get 6 tokens. That is nothing. That's trash. Like, you don't want to be doing that. You do not want to waste your time with that. But look at this. Once we get to week 36, all of a sudden, you see my boy Taco Fall with 20 tokens. I made a whole video about these challenges and which ones to do, but since I have posted that video, they have made even more sets of these challenges. So just going through them, this Taco Fall one is a great one to do. You get a little bit of MT. You actually get 8k MT for the last challenge, and you also get 20 tokens when you complete these set of challenges. So I would definitely recommend doing that one. Same with this one, you get 15 tokens along with a good amount of MT. Week 38, not as much MT, but you still get 12 tokens, so that's another good one to do. It looks like week 39, you go back to only getting 6 tokens, and MT amount also goes back to normal, so that one isn't really super necessary to do. And I believe all of these challenges over here, like these last 3 and these 3 that I already did, I believe they're for 15 tokens, which is not bad, and you also get a good amount of MT. And what's cool about this one, and this one is it's one game. You literally play one game and you get 15 tokens. So I would definitely do those. There's usually some sort of requirement you have to do, like, yeah, win the game and get at least 10 team 3-pointers or something like that. Really not that difficult. You will also see that along with the 15 tokens, you get like a good amount of MT for one game. Looks like they're all 2,400. I can't remember what this one was, but long story short, these are definitely worth doing. Like, they're very easy to do. They don't take a lot of time, especially these last ones where it's only one game, and you get 15 tokens. That's about as good as you can ask for, honestly. Aside from that, before I tell you guys which sets I would recommend locking in, there's always domination that you can do. I actually have never even finished this domination, but as you can see, once you get especially to this all-time domination, you start to get a lot of tokens for completing these games. Along the way, you also get a bunch of contracts, a bunch of basketballs if you're trying to improve your collector level. The players that you get are very outdated at this point, but again, they improve your collector level as well. You get a bunch of players from doing this original domination. So if you want to get tokens, domination is not a bad way to do it. It's not necessarily the most fun, and it probably at this point isn't even the most efficient, but you still do get other rewards along the way if you still do want to do that. And then aside from that, another really great way to get tokens is playing Triple Threat online. You can get tokens from playing Triple Threat offline, especially if there's some sort of event, going on where you get tokens after every Triple Threat offline win. But I would recommend doing online more than offline, because unless there's an event for Triple Threat like single player, you're only going to get a token pretty much when you open the vault, or if you climb the ladder and get to a new tier where you're getting tokens. And low-key, like, you do get a good amount of tokens from going up the board. So maybe I shouldn't hate on this mode too much, but usually when you open the vault, you're getting 1 token, and that's really not that good. Like, you see there's 10 tokens on the board, but it's very rare that you do get that. When you play Triple Threat online, you get way more tokens, in my opinion. Most ball drops on Triple Threat online have some sort of token. Sometimes it goes up to like 20, maybe even more. And if it's like one of those things where you have like 5 ball drops and there's 2 20 token spots on the bottom, you land in both of them, that's 40 tokens. Obviously, that's not going to happen every time, but you're usually getting like at least a token, up to like 40 tokens for every game. And these really don't take that long. Plus, you're getting a bunch of MT when you are playing these games, which you can use on other areas of the game. And you can also use to spend on cards to lock in these sets over here that also offer tokens, which is what we are going to talk about now. So I didn't look super hard into these Spotlight Series sets, but my guess is that they're probably not the best to lock in. Like this one, you get 25 tokens for locking in all these cards. Some of these cards go for like a lot of MT, like more than they should, just because they're rare. It's kind of weird. Even like these Emerald cards, some of them just go for a lot. Like Beasley's going for over 10k. That's very strange. So most of those I would not recommend going in or locking in. Obviously, like if you are able to lock it in for cheap, you could. But for the most part, these Spotlight Series sets, I would just recommend not locking in, because you can usually get a lot of MT from selling some of these cards. These Legacy sets also are probably not the best for locking in. You do get 200 tokens if you lock them in, but they're pretty expensive to complete, and there are no players in here that realistically you are going to use anyways. And that's something I like to factor into when I decide if I want to lock something in, is if there's players that I can actually use from the set that I'm locking in. Because if I can't use any of them, it's really tough to lock in all that MT. So as you can see, this guy right here, he's already going for 160k, and there's still an hour and 36 minutes left in the auction. So he could realistically go for over 200k. And then you just go through the rest of the set. Like this guy, he's not too expensive, but it is still a decent amount of MT. Same with David Thompson. He's also pretty cheap. Lucas, he goes for a little bit of MT, I think. Like, yeah, 10 to 15k. So you're looking at, for sure, over 200k already. Even just with this card alone, I'm pretty sure he goes for over 200k. And then Nate Thurmond right now, I'm pretty sure, yeah, the cheapest one up right now, there's only one up for 100k. He normally goes for cheaper than that, but he's still not like a cheap card at all. So, I mean, you could potentially be spending 200 to 300k on the set for 200 tokens. And in my opinion, there are better sets to lock in that are a better price and that have cards that you can use.
Same thing goes with this set over here. This Bill Walton card, he goes for a ton of MT. There currently are none up, but if there is, like, I'm pretty sure he goes for like over 200k. I could be wrong. Bernard King, look, he's going for like what, 20 to 30k. You could probably get him for. This guy, I mean, he's going for what, 20k? Like, yeah, I mean, this set is very expensive. These two guys are not expensive, but the rest of the set is pretty expensive. And again, I think that there are better sets to lock in. Like, if you think it's worth the MT to lock this in, go for it. But I think there are better sets to do. Before we move on to the rest of these premium sets, also, I forgot to mention, I locked in all of these current series sets, 1 and 2. Some sets are more expensive than others, but not by a lot, but the prices do differ. And you can get a lot of these cards for free from just playing the game and getting free packs. So if you do want to lock these in, they are 20 tokens each, and you're not investing a ton of MT into them. So you can lock those in if you want. It's kind of just going to be up to you and what price you get those cards for, and if you think it is worth it. These heat check sets are a little bit more expensive, and you only get 5 additional tokens compared to the current series ones. So you could lock those in too, but they are a little bit worse of a deal, in my opinion, than the current series sets. Along with that, guys, sorry to get a little off track here, but if you go to the agenda and you go to lifetime, you actually get bonus tokens for locking in some of those sets. So like you see, once you lock in 1 Eastern and 1 Western Conference heat check set, you get 25 tokens for each one that you lock in. It's just a one-time thing. So if you did want to do a heat check set to lock in, you could just lock in 1 from each conference, get the 25 tokens, and then get the bonus 25 tokens. And then all of a sudden you're getting 50 tokens from just locking in, you know, 1 set. And then same with the Eastern and Western, like, current series cards. You get 20 bonus tokens once you lock in a team from each conference. So that is also a nice little reward if you decide to lock in those sets. All right, so now we are just going to go through the rest of these premium sets, and I'm mostly just going to be focusing on these flash sets. So this one right here, it locks in for a Ruby Taco Fall, so you're not going to be locking that one in. This one right here is not bad to lock in. You get 100 tokens, and it kind of depends on the price that these players are going for, but when I first went through it, you get 100 tokens, and I kind of figured out that you could lock in this whole set for about 50k MT, maybe a little bit more than that. Larry, you can probably get for like, what, 15k MT, let's call it. Danny Granger, there's one for 25, so 15 and 25. Let's say 40k MT so far. Josh Smith, let's see. Yeah, like maybe like 5k, so you're looking at 45k MT. This guy right here goes for a little bit. So yeah, you're looking at just over 50k once you add those 4 cards. And then Jimmer over here, he doesn't go for a lot. So yeah, you're looking at like 50 to like 60k max, you know, to lock in all of these cards as of this recording. And you get 100 tokens, and compared to like spending, you know, over, what was it, like 200 to 300k for that one of these, what do you call them, legacy sets to get 200 tokens, you know, spending 50k on 100 tokens is mathematically a better bargain. Next up, we have the third flash set, and this one is a little bit more expensive. I don't want to get too into it, but to lock this in, it probably costs like 300k MT. Vince Carter, he's going for close to 100k. Michael Jordan, he's pretty expensive. Like, look, he's going for close to 300k MT. So already just from those two players, if he, let's just say he goes for 300, Vince Carter goes for a little under 100, you know, you're looking at almost 400k MT. Is that right? That's crazy. Like, that's a lot of MT to invest in this set. I mean, Nash doesn't go for a lot, so the rest of these cards are pretty irrelevant in terms of the cost, but with all 4 of them together, you know, that's another, like, what, 10 to 25k MT? Certainly more than 10k MT for these 4 cards. Probably closer to like 25k MT to get these 4 cards over here, on top of, you know, spending like, you know, 300. Even if you can get it for less than 300, like, you're still spending a bunch of MT on this set. You do get 200 tokens, which is nice, but again, that other set locks in for like 50k for 100 tokens. So unless this set, you know, locks in for like 100k total, you know, it's going to be a worse deal. The good thing about this set, though, is there are cards that are usable in here. Vince Carter and MJ are both usable. They're a little bit outdated, but they are still very usable. Steve Nash is small, but you know what? You could use him. You really could. Chauncey Billups, outdated, but you could use him as like a budget team guy, but I wouldn't recommend it. So that's the only saving grace with this set. If you do know that you are going to keep Michael Jordan and Vince Carter for the rest of 2K20, and you already have them, and then you could lock this set in because the rest of these cards don't really cost that much. to add those to the squad, especially if you already have some of them. So if you're going to keep Vince and MJ already, and you're never going to get rid of them, you know what I'm saying, before the game is pretty much dead, then you might as well lock it in. But just purely cost-wise, if you don't have any of these cards and you're going out spending MT to lock in sets, this is definitely not the one. Next up, we have another set, and this one is a pretty good one to lock in, I'm not going to lie. The first time I went through, I kind of figured that this set would cost about 100-ish K, maybe a little bit more to lock in. So AK, he is going right now for, what was the cheapest one up there? It was like 89K, so let's just call it like 90K. John Wall, I mean, in total, that's like, he doesn't go for a lot. He goes for like 5K MT if you buy a pink diamond. So yeah, let's just call it 95K. This guy right here, he's very cheap as well as a diamond. I think you can get him for like 5K MT, even though there's none up right now. We'll call that like what? 100K total? Yeah, there's a 7. We'll call that 100K total. And these guys right here are also very cheap. We'll call like 110. Let's just call it like 110, a little over 100K regardless. So it's really not that much MT. And when you spend 100K MT on this set, you do get 125 tokens. So it's not bad. It's not as good of a deal as spending 50K to lock in a set for 100 tokens like that Flash set 2. But along with this, you do get AK-47, who's a very good card, very, very usable as a small forward or power forward. You get John Wall, who does Evo to a Galaxy Opal if you want to use him. He is a little bit outdated, but he is usable. Same with Michael Ray Richardson. I made a gameplay video with this guy, and he's pretty decent. Like, he's nothing special, but he is usable. So that is one other thing that is good about this set, is you at least get AK-47 for sure that is usable, and you get 125 tokens. So this set is one you could lock in. It's not like the greatest value, but it is not bad. I should also mention, guys, that if 2K does drop a token market update and you are then watching this video after the fact, these prices could change. The prices could change regardless of, if that drops, because prices are always changing, and especially once a token market update comes out, the cards that lock in for tokens, they usually go up in price because people all of a sudden want them to lock in for tokens, you know what I'm saying? So that's just one thing to be aware of. Next up, we're going to go to this Flash 5 set. This one is super good to lock in. This is better than locking in the Flash 4 set. The only bad thing about this is that there is no card like AK-47 who is super, super usable, but Lonzo Ball you can definitely use, and he's not going for a lot of MT. Oh my god, like for 60K MT, he's not even selling. 55, he's not selling. Let's just call him like, what, 50K MT. Michael Red, I'm pretty sure he goes for like 5K. So yeah, let's just say like 55. Wiggins, I think Wiggins actually goes for a little bit more for some reason. Yeah, if we add 20K to hit that price, that's like 75K, let's say. Ray Allen goes for a little bit more, so he goes for like 15K MT. So if we were at 50, 55, 75, let's just say like 90K MT, and then Mo Bamba over here, he goes for under 10K. So you're looking at close, like under 100K to lock in this set. That is not bad. You could probably finish it for like 80 to 90K total if you get some good prices on stuff. And it locks in for 200 tokens. So again, that is a very, very good deal compared to, spending over 300K for that Flash set 3 with Michael Jordan and Vince Carter. You get 200 tokens, but it costs 300K MT. This one, it costs like, 100K MT about, maybe even a little bit less, and you get 200 tokens. Plus, Lonzo Ball and Michael Red are very usable. Wiggins is also usable. Actually, all of these cards are usable depending on your team. Like, if you're doing a low overall lineup, Mo Bamba is very good. He's one of the best Amethyst cards in the game. Ray Allen is a good spot-up shooter. These pink diamonds are usable. And again, Lonzo Ball is a point guard Galaxy Opal who is not bad. So this is one that I actually really think is a good set to lock in, just because it doesn't cost a lot of MT. You get 200 tokens and you get a few cards that you can use. The Flash set 6 is also worth 200 tokens, but this one costs a little bit more. The first time I went through, I realized that it probably costs about a little under 200K to finish. Yao Ming, let's just say he goes for 115, right? Luol Deng looks like what, 10K MT. So we're at 125K MT, already more than the last set, you know what I'm saying? This guy right here, Pau Gasol, we're at what did I say we were at? 125K MT. This guy right here, he's going for like 20K. So right now you're looking at close to 150K. Batum's pretty cheap, so yeah. This set probably locks in for what? 150 to 200K MT. It really depends on how much Yao Ming goes for. But that's a lot of MT compared to the last set. And Yao Ming you can use, These pink diamonds honestly are not that good. Pau Gasol, even once he evolves to a Galaxy Opal, he's like, he's good. He's better than like a lot of centers, but in terms of Galaxy Opals, he is not that good. Nick Batum is a great diamond card, so if you're running like a low overall team, Batum is usable. But again, I don't think this is the greatest value to lock in for, about what, 200k, maybe a little bit less to get 200 tokens. There are better cards out there, or better sets out there, especially because a lot of these cards you're probably not going to be using. Next up, we have the Flash Set 7, and this is another good one to lock in because Klay Thompson, he goes for like, let's just call it a 100k MT buyout. Larry Johnson, you're looking at 120k, on the set. And then for the rest of the set, these guys don't cost a lot. This guy is going for under 10k. We'll just call it 130. So yeah, he's cheap, and this guy is cheap right here. So for like it depends on the price of Klay Thompson. The first time I went through this, Klay was going for under 100k, and I figured out that this set costs about 120k. It kind of depends on Klay Thompson's price, but even if it's like 100 to 150k MT to lock in this set, you get 200 tokens, which is a very I think that's a fair price. Plus, Klay Thompson is very, very usable. Along with that, this dude right here, he's a very good Amethyst card to use for like a budget team. So this is not a bad set to lock in. And then we're going to move on to the Flash Set 8. And this one, low-key, isn't bad either. The first time I went through, I thought that this costs a little over 150k to lock in total. Dame you can get for like 75k MT. Sean Marion, when I went through the first time, there was some going for like under 40k. Yeah, oh my goodness. So if it's, let's say he goes for like what, 40k. So if it was 75 and 40k, that is 115k for those two Galaxy Opals. So like 150k approximately for 200 tokens. Again, that is a very, very good price for this set to get 200 tokens. Damian Lillard is usable. He's a little small, but he's usable. Like Dame, Sean Marion, they can be used. James Wiseman, he's a very, very good pink diamond. He's one of the better pink diamonds in the game. So this is another set that you definitely could lock in. Finally, we're just going to look at the fan favorites sets because these also lock in for tokens. So this first fan favorite set, when I first went through it, it looks like it went for a little over 200k MT. But the thing about this set is that there are a lot of good cards that you can use. So once you get like Caruso and Bol, and Taco Fall, that right there is going to be, close to 200-ish K. And then you just have to add, these other guys to the squad. So once you get all these players, it adds up to a decent amount of MT. It's probably actually closer to like, mid 200k MT, like 220 something to 250. It really just depends on the prices that you get those Galaxy Opals for. But, let's just call it about 250k, maybe even a little bit less depending on the prices. So in terms of pure cost, there are better sets to lock in for tokens because some of those Flash sets lock in for 200 tokens for like, under 200k or even under 100k, you know what I'm saying? So just in terms of cost, this was not a good set to lock in. But if you know for a fact that you are going to keep Bol, Alex Caruso, and Taco Fall on your team, those are the most expensive cards in the set. If you have no intention of, selling those cards at any point, you could lock it in. I think, you could do better than keeping these cards, but that's just me. It's really going to be up to you if you want to keep all these cards, because if you're going to keep all these cards anyways, the only reason you wouldn't lock it in is because you want to sell them, right? So if you're not going to sell them, you might as well get tokens for them. But I would not recommend going out and buying these cards in this set to complete the set. Finally, we have the second fan favorite set, and this one costs even more than the first fan favorites, if I'm not mistaken. Like Michael Porter Jr. alone, like there's one for 150 with a few minutes left, 170. So if he goes for like 175, that's already close to 200k. And we realize that the last set costs, a little over 200k to finish. Jeremy Lin, that puts the price for sure over 200k for this set. And then you're just adding J.R. Smith, you're already over 250k for this set. Gerald Green honestly goes for, a little bit of MT actually. So you're just getting closer and closer to like 250 to 300k MT for the set once you get all of these cards. And again, like this is not a good set to go out and buy the cards to lock in for tokens because some of those Flash sets were better to lock in price-wise. But again, same as the other fan favorite set. If you have these cards and you're not going to sell them, you know what I'm saying? You might as well lock it in for tokens. But this is not a good set to lock in just price-wise. It's not a good set to say, oh, I'm going to go out and buy all of these cards to get tokens. There are better sets to lock in if you are looking for that. Just to quickly recap the Flash sets, because I know I kind of threw out a lot of numbers. The Flash set 2 is one I would recommend locking in because you can finish that for a little over 50k and get 100 tokens. So that's a rate of, 100k for 200 tokens, which that's a good price compared to the other sets that lock in for 200, just in terms of like mathematically the rate of MT per token. That is pretty good. The Flash set 3 is a bad one to lock in just in terms of price because that one goes for like over 300k MT to lock in and you get 200 tokens. So that is not a good deal. The Flash set 4 is a decent one to lock in if you want to keep this AK-47 card because he is pretty much the only like really good card in the set and you get 125 tokens, and to lock in the set it costs about 100k MT. AK-47 he goes for like what 80ish k MT. So if you're gonna keep him no matter what, this is a good one to lock in. And even if you want to spend money to finish this, it's not the worst one to lock in, but there are better options. For example, the Flash set 5 is a better one to lock in than the Flash set 4, just in terms of value for like your MT. Like I said, the Flash set 4 locks in for about 100k MT for 125. This one locks in for under 100k if you get good prices, and you get 200 tokens. So this one is a better one to lock in than the 4. So far, this is like a very, very good value. This might be the best value out of all of them, just in terms of MT. Plus, you get Lonzo, a couple good pink diamond cards, and this Amethyst Mo Bamba is a very, very good budget card. So this is definitely a great one to lock in. 6 is a little bit expensive. It's, a little under 200k for 200 tokens. So I think you can do better than that. Flash set 7, this one, I think we said it was like, what, about 120k to lock in for 200 tokens. So again, it's not as good of a value price-wise compared to Flash set 5, because that one was like 80 to 90k approximately. This one is over 100k to finish. But again, you do get Klay Thompson and, Larry Johnson, a good Amethyst. So it's not as good of a value price-wise as Flash 5, but it is still a decent one to lock in if you want to lock in more than one set. Plus, you get to use Klay Thompson. And then finally, just to recap, we have this Flash set 8. You get 200 tokens. It costs like a little over 150k MT. So this one, again, is a decent value. It's nothing crazy. It's not the best value, but it's not the worst. It's just kind of mid-tier. This video is already getting a little bit long, so I don't want to spend too much time on this, but finally, I just want to quickly touch on these moments of the week sets. And if you go to week 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, those all lock in for 100 tokens each. And without getting into too much detail, I just want to say that I don't think any of these are really worth it. As you can see, like, some of these cards just randomly go for a lot of MT just because they're so rare and their cards have not been in packs for a long time. So compared to some of those other Flash sets that we saw, these really are not a good deal. Like, even look at Spencer Dinwiddie. Like, there's only one. He's going for 100k. So, like, for 100 tokens, I think there are better options available in those Flash sets and, like, current series sets, stuff like that. So that is going to do it for the video. I hope that was at least somewhat helpful. Again, prices might change, so just be aware of that. But just try to not lock in a bunch of MT for tokens, because there are other ways to make tokens in the game. As I highlighted in the beginning, there's free ways to make tokens from locker codes, playing the game, doing challenges, finishing domination, TTO, all that good stuff. So that is going to do it for the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out.